Marcus Speaks.
Welcome to another episode of Marcus Speaks Live, the podcast that gives you every damn thing you need, such as knowledge, truth, and I forgot the other thing I was going to say, knowledge, truth, and research in all sorts of areas. I hope you guys are going to enjoy my topics tonight because I do go through a various amount of topics, such as my pre-show, such as my my main show. So the pre-show is going to consist of some topics, and also as you've seen on the thumbnail, I'm going to be talking about Ye once again tonight. So with that being said, I want to go through a few promotions, and then I will start tonight's show. But I want to do it a little backwards, and I want to see how it's going to work. So if you guys have ever seen my podcast, you will know that I play videos to which every topic that I bring you to further my point of what I'm talking about. With that being said, I have to follow a thing here on YouTube called fair use. Fair use is something that isn't only a YouTube policy, it's also the law. So I want to follow both and not get in trouble for it. So with that being said, instead of me telling you what I think fair use is, well, I'll just let my past self do it because it's much better. Here we go. Hello everyone, I'm going to tell you about fair use. It's the law. Warning. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 07. Alright, if you could, like this video, share this video, and subscribe if you are new here. Also, with that being said, please don't be don't be afraid to, come up here and talk. And put something in the chat section. Sorry. Start writing some things. I will be listening to it, so don't be afraid of that. So you guys, this is a little confusing doing this back and Okay, so people, if you guys don't know, I have two YouTube channels. My first channel, my flagship channel, Marcus Speaks, which this is housed on. You can also watch me on this channel as well as my secondary channel, Marcus Speaks Play, where I only exclusively play games that I like and certain selected new releases. Those links are in the description box. You can see those down there. Also, if you want to do a one-stop shop type of thing, all my link is down there, so you can hit that as well. Also, people, if you want to come up here and talk to me, you can. There is a comment pinned in blue on in the live chat. If you guys want to come up here and talk to me, you can. I do allow people to come up here and speak. So, like I said, if you want to come up here and speak, that is fine. But you have to follow some rules. rule number one is you must be on camera at all times. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. That's how I roll. I hope you guys don't find that too intrusive, but you have to be on camera at all times. But there's a caveat. Rule number two is you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to the public. You still have to be on camera when you come back here and come and talk to me because I'd much rather it be like that. Alright? Now, with that caveat, there is a link back. Not a link, I'm sorry. There is a comment back here in the private chat. With that being said, if you come up here and speak, please read that question. I can't at all express the amount of reason why you should do this. Number one, don't make it a conversation back here. Once you come back here with your name, please put your name that's above your screen here on the backstage, and let me know if you would, if you would not want to be on camera, and then after that, I will make it happen. All right. Now, rule number three is please silence all background noise. Why? Because no one wants to hear all that flutter that's going on in the back. I'm trying to run a professional podcast, right? Just saying. All right. Please silence all background noise. Go to a secluded spot in the house if you could, and if you could also please don't talk while you are in the backstage because everyone will hear you. I will have to turn you down for that. And one last thing, please like this video, subscribe if you are new here, and share this to your social media. All right, I can't pressure you enough to do that. Well, that was a little bit too intrusive. I won't say pressure, but ask you if you could do that. If you could do that for me, I would appreciate it. Now, I did my I did that all within the 4 minutes with seconds to spare on my theme song. So, today's show, right? Let's get into the pre-show. Well, let's get into some banter real fast. I got something crazy to share. So, I was at work today, and yesterday, no, Thursday. Sorry, I work a 4-day, 10-hour work week. So, if you guys didn't know, for 3 weeks and several days, I was off. But if we're not counting the weekends, we're just counting my work weeks. I was off for 3 weeks and 2 days. So this past Wednesday, I went back to work. It felt different for some reason because of me being out for those 3 weeks. But I got back into the swing of things. You know, it was basically the same after that. But with my return, the second day on Thursday of this week, we had something that we call like a team building type of thing. I didn't want to go to it because there's certain people, like girlfriend, that are there that I don't feel like as though I should be going to it because I don't like looking at certain people, my girlfriend. But it's certain things also because when I'm out of work, I don't like just expressing, work, which it's not really, we're being out of work, we're still at work. Even if we're outside the building, if we're all together and it's still, they're paying us to be certain places, it's work. So I didn't feel like waking up early to go to this brunch that we had, and it was just a bunch of foolishness. So, But anyway, that's not the funny part. This is the funny part. So, a few of us chose not to go, myself and 2 others. So it's a young lady of Caucasian descent that I work with. She's very nice girl. She enjoys Disney a lot, which I don't have a problem with because I watch Disney Plus shows such as Andor and all the Disney Plus Marvel and Star Wars shows. So I don't really have a problem with her liking that type of stuff. She's more of like the classical Disney type of stuff, such as like Snow White and stuff like that. But she's a nice girl. So here's the funny shit. So we come in. I'm the first person in our clean room because you guys don't know if I've iterated so many times. I work in medical device manufacturing. Basically, I make a device for a surgery. You can see it all over YouTube if you type in and there's various ways that they do it too. But if you type in, what is it called? I forgot what the product that that I work with is called, but nonetheless. So we get to listen to the radio, during our time there, which is cool. So the young lady told me, since the the usual suspects weren't there because they was out at the team building. She said, "Hey, put that thug shit on." I said, "Oh, whoa, wait a minute." She said, "Yeah, Marcus, put that thug shit on." Y'all, I was like, "Oh shit, all right." I'll put that thug shit on for you then. So I put the thug shit on for her, and we had a good time the rest of the day. Everybody else came back at a certain time, and then it was back to work. It was work as usual. But that kind of like set me back a little bit, because I've heard her talk about things, but I never heard that come out of her mouth, which was funny. So for that, I thank you for giving me that laugh Thursday. If you're watching, it was funny as hell. So, I don't even have my paper in front of me. I'm sorry. So, as usual, guys, I read articles about certain things on my show. Um, so getting into excuse me, getting into certain things now. So, one of the things which I'll go over with you guys, two things of the pre-show I will be going over with you guys tonight is the Boston University debacle that's happening right now. I will share more within the next couple minutes. And also, Elon has acquired Twitter now. So Twitter is now a scape of free speech, and I will speak more about that as well. So let's get into this Twitter thing, right? So Twitter has been hold on, I'm sorry, that's the wrong thing I'm starting out with. Let's start out with this Boston U thing. So Boston University was a claim against Boston University by the news outlet the Daily Mail had made a claim on them that Boston University claimed to have developed a lethal COVID strain with 80% kill rate and this story is by the Center of Infectious Disease Research and Policy. So let's get into this. So the first story that I'm going to get into, which I will play the video first, is about this. Let's get into it.
A new and deadly strain of the COVID virus has been created in a Boston University lab. So here's what we know. Researchers added a highly mutated Omicron spike protein to the original virus. In the lab, 8 out of 10 mice died. And while that means the new strain is highly dangerous, it was also created in a biosafety level 4 lab with extremely strict protocols. So joining us now to talk more about this, Dr. Monica Gandhi, professor of medicine and associate division chief of infectious diseases at UCSF. Dr. Gandhi, thanks for being with us. Why would researchers intentionally do this?
There's something about Omicron that it was less virulent, but more transmissible. We all knew this by this point, and we have multiple studies that show it's less virulent. The most virulent strains of COVID-19 were the original Wuhan HU was called Alpha and Delta. So they wanted to see if it was the spike protein mutations that made it less virulent by sticking the spike protein of COVID-19 Omicron onto the ancestral strain. And then they found that whatever the ancestral strain had over here beyond the spike protein, that was what was leading to virulence, because this is a very deadly strain and it's very transmissible both. It has all the worst things going for it in terms of causing disease. So I have to say I'm a little bit worried that this is created, and I think point proven, let's destroy this now.
Okay, so we hear a doctor, we hear you saying that you are a little bit concerned about this. I think the average American hears this, antenna immediately goes up. How concerned should Americans be about a possible lab leak?
I think, from this, I think they were very careful, but the WHO has been very clear that we needed to have been more careful during this pandemic. They actually said, we have to investigate. We have to ensure that all biosafety procedures, when people were working with coronaviruses, scientists were working with coronaviruses in labs, were followed. And that is the right approach. We can't keep on kind of fooling with viruses and make them more deadly. It has to be done very, very carefully. And in this case, we prove something, then destroy this and move on. Put out the results, move on. We don't want to keep on moving around with viruses.
All right, well, let's shift to another disease that was making headlines, then it kind of seemingly vanished. We're talking monkeypox. Has that been contained at this point? What happened?
Basically, it got contained. We did a really good job. So in this country, there are a lot of, complaints from me, frankly, and others that were saying, we're not moving fast enough with monkeypox, but things have been going great ever since basically what you show here. August 5th was the peak, 443 cases over a 7-day moving average. We're now at 60. It's 3 reasons that monkeypox cases have gone down so quickly. One is people sort of changed their kind of sexual behavior likely. They did report that, fewer sexual partners. Second, natural immunity probably developed in the population most affected, which is gay men. And third, we've been doing a very good job at getting out the vaccine. This is smallpox vaccine, getting it out, getting it to a lot of people. We have much more supply. And all of that is containing this virus, which is great.
And it is great. Obviously a job well done. All right, Dr. Gandhi, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for watching.
All right, so there is a new and deadlier strain. They said this is from a doctor's mouth. This isn't from mine. So to any of the YouTube staff that is watching my show like they did last week, messing with my show, look, I didn't say this. This came from a doctor itself. A news reporter who did the actual research, or the staff, because anchors don't do their own research. But this is what they're saying was happening. So, if you guys weren't familiar, as was told, a Boston University lab is making a hybrid of the deadly Omicron and the hold on, because this isn't shown. Why isn't this shown? This did this to me last week as well. I'm not seeing this. You guys aren't seeing this on your screen. Okay, yes, you are now. So how about this one? Let's do this one. Okay, you guys are seeing it now, so good. Because last week, for some reason, it wasn't showing up these pictures. So, Boston U is creating this new virus. I don't know why, but we will read. Here we go. Media reports about work on a hybrid SARS-CoV-2 virus at Boston University Biosafety Level 3 lab have inflamed more controversy about lab biosafety and raised questions about federal oversight following the publication of the research team's preprint, not peer-reviewed study that described their findings. So this is what's happening right now. All right. So, um, so with that being said, Boston University refutes claim. I guess they would, right? So this is what they're saying with that. Give me 1 second, yo. It's a lot of things that I forgot to do before coming on, and now I'm just doing them. So stuff happens. It's still a good stream. It's still streaming good. So I will be paying attention to my my bar situation as well with this, because last week YouTube or Restream wanted to mess with me. So again, Boston University refutes claim. So a story last week from the London Daily Mail claimed that researchers created a newly deadly COVID strain, and other outlets picked up on the theme. In a statement yesterday, however, Boston University called the claims false and inaccurate, emphasizing that the school's institutional biosafety committee had reviewed and approved the study. The National Emerging Infectious Disease Lab was completed in 2008, but was barred from doing high security level BSL-4 work for a decade, given the lab's urban location due to safety concerns. Media reports claim that the study included gain-of-function experiments, which have sparked concerns about the dual use and accidental release, especially in light of safety lapses at federal research facilities. In 2016, a federal advisory group commissioned an extensive risk assessment that it used to issue its final guidance. Gain of function research involves manipulating organisms to increase their transmissibility of hold on. I need help with this word. I've never seen it before. Let's see. Virulence is transmissibility, virulence, and hold on. Immune. Okay, I need help with this word as well. Immune. I'll put that word up for no reason. Hold on. Give me a second. Immunogenicity. All right. So, or other capabilities is also being done at the lab. So, dual use refers to experiments, right? Let me delete this real fast. Okay, so dual use refers to experiments that can be used for both good and ill. In yesterday's statement, Boston University denied that the research designed to explore pathogenicity differences between the Omicron variant and the original SARS-CoV-2 virus was gain of function. University officials said the virus the group worked with was less dangerous than the original strain, and that the work reinforced the earlier findings of other groups, including the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. So the what was this place called? The National Institute in Allergy and Infectious Disease expresses concern. Oh, now they want to speak up, right? The media coverage of the study caught the attention of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. One of the project's funders, according to Stat, which quoted an official who said the BU team's initial grant application didn't precisely specify the work. Emily, how to say this lady's name? Erbelding, Emily Erbelding, MD, MPH, who directs the NIAID's Microbiology and Infectious Diseases Division, said the team should have specified their work and that the NIAID would have likely convinced a committee it has in place to act to oh gosh let me start that over. Hold on. The team should have specified their work and that the NIAID would have likely convinced a committee it has in place to assess the trial's risks and benefits. Wow, I don't know what the hell's going on. So anyway, the controversy over this study comes at a time when a federal group that advises the National Institute of Health and biosecurity issues, the National Science Advisory Board of Biosecurity, the NSABB, is in the advanced stages of proposing new draft recommendations on experiments with dangerous diseases. So this is what's going on. If you guys don't know, also what came out is that they said that some people in Boston have fell sick with with COVID. They're not sure if this is linked to that, but we'll see in coming months. If it spreads and everyone else gets it, but hopefully that they're gonna try and do some work to contain this. Who knows? But we'll see within the next coming months, because Joe Biden came back out and said that, hey, COVID isn't over. He did say we beat what did he say? We beat Pharma this year, and he also said earlier this year that the pandemic is over. Well, we'll see within the next few months, if not next year, what happens. Hopefully we're not in the same predicament of 2020. No one wants to go back to that ever again. So let's hope that in some capacities they can get this controlled without any sort of medical intervention that others need to take, i.e. a jabby jab. All right, so moving on. Let's get to the crux and the nooks and crannies of this. Damn, I didn't grab a picture of Elon. Let me grab a picture of Elon real fast. I'll be right back. Grab this photo of him and then we can continue. That's a good photo right there. All right. So, in just a moment. Our pal Elon has now acquired Twitter. So, big round of applause for that. Our friend Elon has now acquired the Twitter. And let's get into that real fast. So, this all entails that he is now CEO and proprietor, or as he calls himself, King Twit or Chief Twit. He is now owner operator of Twitter now. So acquisition went through Friday. I believe he started everything because it was something that he had to get done, or it would have went into a trial due to Delaware. I forgot the branch of you know, I don't know what to call it. I don't know where he would have went for that. So, Mr. Chief Twit, right? This is what's going on. So, let's watch the video.
Well, he said he would do it at the beginning, and now it seems as though he's being forced to do it at the end.
Yeah, this is one of the interesting situations where the devil's in the detail, and Bloomberg also reporting that according to sources, the banks are kind of braced for this borrowing notice that should have come Tuesday. Then the money that the banks have pledged in the form of debt would go into escrow Thursday. And as you said, Caro, he's told these bankers that he fully intends to close the deal by 5 p.m. Friday. You know, the Twitter stock reacted in a way you'd expect. It got closer to the $54.20 per share offer price. And it's kind of a soft indication from the street that, yeah, we think we're at a place where this deal is going to get done. And the mechanics of it are such that, you know, they're moving in that direction. I would say we'd already reported a week ago that, you know, bankers and advisors on both sides have been acting diligently to meet that 5 p.m. Eastern time deadline on October 28th, which was set by the Chancery, Delaware Chancery judge. So we know where we stand.
Yeah. And of course, later in the week, 26th, we get Twitter earnings. Talk to us about the earnings you've just been digesting. Talk about the conversation you had with Ruth Porat at Alphabet.
Yeah, I mean, Alphabet, you know, missing on the top and bottom line, interesting. You know, clearly this is a challenging environment for them. In that conversation with Ruth Porat, she kind of gave some granularity on the pullback in ad budgets across brand and direct ads, particularly on YouTube. But ultimately, she gave some detail on the macro picture, right, which is that the macro environment remains challenging. And, you know, this is a quarter in which all big tech companies that derive profits from, or sales, I should say, from around the world are facing currency headwinds. But, you know, the point in the middle there, the sequential deceleration was primarily driven by lapping. What Porat's saying is we're comparing this quarter to what was, frankly, an astonishing quarter in the same period a year ago, where they saw just incredible double-digit top-line growth as they recovered from the earlier stages of the pandemic. That's an interesting trick sometimes that executives use to point you to a comparison with a strong quarter.
But analysts, many across the board ahead of earnings, analysts have been downgrading their outlooks to companies. And so it's always a jolt when they miss them. So I think, what does the read across? How are you thinking about what she's talking about in terms of YouTube, in terms of advertisers? What does this mean perhaps for tomorrow for Meta?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is that there's broad weakness in the ad space, right? When we had Snap's earnings last week and they scrapped guidance and they had their slowest growth on record, they gave some pretty granular detail about the pullback by advertisers. The question from the street was, is this specific to Snap because of what they're offering, struggling to gain traction with advertisers, or is this more widespread? And in the commentary we've had from Ruth Porat and other Google or Alphabet executives, you can see it is more widespread. And I guess that builds some concern going into Meta earnings this Thursday.
So that is what's happening. I'm gonna do this quick Instagram story real fast because no one's here. So what's up, everybody? If you could come on over to YouTube at Marcus Speaks. I am now live. So if you want to watch, hey, be my guest. I am talking about the amazing week of Yay, part 2. So come on through and you will get a nice daily helping of what the hell's happening with Kanye West. All right. Now, so what's happening right now is that a lot of people are running scared. But let's read what's happening. So, Elon Musk paid a visit to Twitter's headquarters ahead of an end of week deadline to close his deal to buy the company. I believe this was out of order. No, it's not out of order. I'm good. 1 second. All right, so I think I've had these videos out of order, but nonetheless, we're still good. So let's see. All right, so Elon Musk paid a visit to Twitter headquarters ahead of the end of week deadline to close his deal to buy the company, posting a video of himself in the company's San Francisco lobby carrying a sink, which that was a video which was supposed to be shown, but I don't know what happened. I had the video there, but I guess I don't know what happened. Anyway, entering Twitter headquarters, let that sink in, he tweeted on Wednesday. Musk also changed his Twitter profile to refer to himself as Chief Twit and his location at Twitter headquarters. Excuse me. A court has given Musk until Friday to close an agreement, which he did close that agreement, to acquire the company, which would end months of turmoil after the billionaire agreed to buy the social network, then tried to back out. That was a good reason why he did that. He wanted to see the code, and he wanted to see if there was really still bots on the platform. So, lost my place that fast. All right, so despite Musk's splashy entry to headquarters, it wasn't clear yet whether his purchase of Twitter has been finalized. Twitter confirmed to the Associated Press that Musk's video tweet was real but wouldn't comment further. Reuters reported this week that Musk has notified investors involved in the deal that he plans this week that he plans this week oh shit. He plans this week that to finalize the buyout by Friday's deadline. One of Musk's biggest obstacles to closing the deal was keeping in place the financing pledge roughly 6 months ago. A group of banks, including Morgan Stanley and Bank of America, signed on earlier this year to loan $12.5 billion of the money to Musk needed to buy Twitter and take it private. solid contracts with Musk. Bound the banks to buy Twitter and take it. Hold on, I'm sorry. Bound the banks to the financing, although changes in the economy and debt markets since April have likely made the terms less attractive. Musk even said his investment group would be buying Twitter for more than it's worth. Musk's flirtation with buying Twitter appeared to begin in late March. That's when Twitter said he contacted members of its board, including co-founder Jack Dorsey, and told them he was buying up shares and was interested in either joining the board, taking Twitter private, or starting a competitor. Then on the 4th of April, he revealed in a regulatory filing that he had become the company's largest shareholder after acquiring a 9% stake worth about $3 billion. At first, Twitter offered Musk a seat on its board, but 6 days later, CEO is this how you say his name? Parag or Parag? Agrawal tweeted that Musk would not be joining the board after all. His bid to buy the company quickly followed. Then Musk agreed to buy Twitter. He instead inserted, a company quickly followed. Hold on, I'm sorry, that wasn't the right thing. His bid tweeted that Musk would not be joining the board after all. His bid to buy the company quickly followed. When Musk agreed to buy Twitter, he inserted a 420 marijuana reference into his price of $54.20 per share. He sold roughly $15 billion worth of shares in Tesla to help fund the purchase. Then pulled together commitments for billions more from a diverse group of investors, including Silicon Valley heavy hitters like Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison. Inside Twitter, Musk offer was met with confusion and falling morale, especially after. This is getting good. Musk publicly criticizing one of Twitter's top lawyers involved in content moderation decisions. In July, Musk abruptly reversed course, announcing that he was abandoning blah 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 blah. Shit, I can't read tonight. Let's start that over. In July, Musk abruptly reversed course, announcing that he was abandoning his bid, claiming the company hasn't been straightforward about its problem with fake accounts he dubbed spam bots, which they have a lot of. So, Twitter sued Musk in Delaware Chancery Court. That's what it was, Chancery Court. And Musk in Chancery Court to force the deal through, accusing him of inventing an excuse to cover up buyers' remorse. 2 weeks before a 5-day trial was scheduled to begin, Musk changed his mind again, saying that he wanted to complete the deal after all. Meanwhile, morale at the company appeared to be sinking amid news that Musk plans to cut 75% of Twitter's staff in his takeover. So I got the next video up, not yet, it is now, of said findings.
What does this mean? Because 75% of the workforce would leave barely a skeleton crew to run Twitter.
Right. hard to imagine that Twitter could continue to operate depending on how quickly this is done, right? It's not the kind of thing where you can just kind of lay off 3 out of every 4 employees overnight, right? So I'm interested to see how this plays out. Now, one thing to keep in mind, we have been reporting there's definitely going to be cost cuts at Twitter. I think we all know that layoffs are widely expected. I do wonder if this is a little extreme, right? What we've seen from Elon in the past is that a lot of his estimates have been pretty extreme in terms of what he thinks for revenue or user growth. And that could be going extreme in the other direction too with cost cuts, right? So while he has been telling bankers 75%, maybe it's going to be a little bit less than that. But regardless, this is a really big deal because this is a lot larger of a layoff than I think anyone expected for Twitter, even those who were bracing for them.
Yeah, to your point, Kurt, sometimes hard to tell whether Elon Musk is joking or if it's a thought bubble or if it's actually going to happen. But if it does actually happen, he has ruffled a lot of feathers over at Twitter. Could a monstrous clean-out be a precursor to a hiring spree of new staff?
Yeah, I think, as with any acquisition, usually what you see, right, is the new owner wants to move the direction of the company. So in this case, I would imagine it would be layoffs, scale down, reprioritize the company, figure out what those new priorities should be, and then rebuild kind of in that direction, right? So I would be a little bit surprised if he comes in, lays off 75% of staff, and that's it. It would probably be, let's do layoffs, let's figure out where we want to go, and then redirect it that way. That is my guess as to something that would happen. Although, it depends. It's a weird economic time right now. A lot of companies are doing layoffs and not hiring. So maybe that would have to be delayed a little bit.
All of this would happen once the acquisition is complete. How's the process going right now?
Yeah, so the deadline is coming up. It's a week from tomorrow, or I guess here in the U.S. a week from tomorrow. So Friday the 28th. It is, as far as we know, still moving in that direction. Again, both sides have said they want the same price for the deal, right? A lot of the equity and debt financing has been there since the spring. So at this point, it seems to be that there's just a lot of last minute deal paperwork and things. I imagine if I had to guess, it would probably go right up to that line. We're probably still a couple days, if not a full week out. But I do feel, everything I've heard, everything we heard Elon say yesterday during Tesla earnings about Twitter sort of suggests that this is moving forward and this is probably going to happen.
Kanye West has been...
All right, not yet. Not yet with Kanye. Now, in a report compiled by Greg Larkin and Elizabeth Gafford by the invitation-only business membership network Punks in Pinstripes, around 530 employees have ditched the company in the last 3 months. The number reflected a 60% increase in the number of workers that left the company during the last quarter. Nearly 30% of them went to work for Google or Meta, Business Insider reports. Others have gone on to work at other companies such as Pinterest, LinkedIn, and TikTok. The bottom line here is that the uncertainty being generated by the fight between Elon Musk and Twitter is driving a lot of their top talent to other social media platforms. These people have options as to where they can go, and they're going. Larkin told Business Insider. So again, to reiterate, most of these people left. He's still kind of thinking of cutting 75% of the staff, which I believe it's like 7,000 workers. He's trying to cut it down to like 2,000 because you don't need that many people or whatever. Because I don't know if I have this, but I should play it. There was some shit going on at Twitter one day. Somebody just thought to what is it called? Life in the day of a I'm sorry, it wasn't even typing. Hold on. A day. What's it called? A day of a Twitter employee. Is this it? I think this is it right here. So this is the life in the day of a Twitter employee. Check this out.
Welcome to a day in my life as a Twitter employee. So this past week went to SF for the first time at a Twitter office, badged in. Honestly, took a moment to just soak everything in. What a blessing. Also started my morning off with an iced matcha from the perch. Then I had a meeting, so quickly scheduled one of these little pod rooms, which were so cool. They're literally noise canceling. Took my meeting, got ready for lunch. Look how delicious this food looks. Oh my goodness, I was so overwhelmed. Then made my way down to this log cabin area. I don't know what this is, but it was really cool. Played some foosball with my friends to kind of unwind a bit. Also found this really cool meditation room that I thought was super neat. I didn't do any yoga, but they have this yoga room if you are a yogi, so also thought that was really cool. Had a couple more meetings in the afternoon, had a ton of projects that we needed to knock out. Say hi to my teammates. Went to the library to kind of get some more work done. Obviously had to have our afternoon coffee, so made some espresso. And then before leaving for the day, had some red wine that's on tap. Went up to the rooftop and just honestly enjoyed the beautiful weather. So awesome trip.
That's the reason why ain't shit getting done at Twitter. That's the reason why that a lot of the things that we ask Twitter, hey, do you think you can do this? Do you think you can do that? Do you think you can make this happen? And they never get back to us. That's why, because they're all doing no work. They're doing no work at all. So for the 7,000 people who actually do work there, just know whatever projects that y'all got that's planned and all that, you will get those done in a timely fashion, and then you will see your severance papers. So Elon Musk's first day owning Twitter leads to havoc and possible hoax about layoffs. So on Elon Musk's first day in control of Twitter, a person who walked out of the company's San Francisco headquarters and identified themselves as a data engineer, there said they were just laid off. CNBC was not able to immediately verify the identity of that person and one other who made a similar claim. One employee at Twitter awaited information about layoffs or projects. Told CNBC they were in the dark for the most part. Musk was meeting with relatively low-ranking engineering managers. This person noted a welcome gesture to some. Press reports before the deal closed said that Musk had planned cuts as deep as 75% of the headcount. Twitter did not respond to repeated requests for comment about layoffs. Musk finally took over the company on Thursday, ending a months-long legal saga. The billionaire Tesla and SpaceX CEO initially agreed to buy the company for $44 billion, which was way too much, but soon after tried to get out of the deal because he claimed Twitter was not forthcoming enough about spam accounts on the platform. Twitter was denied that and went to court to try to get Musk to complete the deal. Prior to the original trial date, Earlier this month, Musk agreed once again to close the deal. The judge gave Musk until Friday, the 28th of October at 5 p.m. to close the deal or else set a new trial date. On Thursday, several top executives departed the company, including CEO Prag Agrawal and CFO Ned Siegel. CNBC's David Faber reported. Twitter's head of legal policy, trust, and safety, Vijaya Gaddy, was also fired. Wow, that lady was on the Joe Rogan podcast episode with Jack Dorsey talking about the Twitter policy. I did not know she got fired. That's crazy. Wow. So this is also what happened. What they're not sharing with you in these two articles that I presented. Elon's top Tesla data engineers, went into Twitter and started searching. They started searching their servers because they want to know, because Elon wants to know, where's the bots? Where's the spam accounts at? So I can get rid of them. And he'll probably come out with a press release stating that the whole time that he was in acquisition of buying the company, that the entire time the staff and its CEOs and CFO has lied. Because we all know on all social medias that there are some sort of spam bots out there. And what we also probably know is that they are also out here trying to get us to basically, to bow down to the establishment, basically. So, that's what the hell's happening. So that's all I got with the overview. I mean, not the overview, with the pre-show. So, let's get into today's show. So, the overview of today is yay all again. That's all we got. We got yay all over again. So, I'll make sure that I'll get you guys here to not get you guys here, that I'll make sure that all of this is all about yay, and which it will be. So, with that being said, let's get into today's show. So, today's show consists of Kanye. Like last week, I will be going over some more things in the news of what people have been talking about. We'll be also going over some other things that are sprouting up about our friend Ye. And amongst other things as well, because a lot of shit has came out that people didn't really realize. And I'm here to show that. I showed this already on YouTube, so I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore. Oh, okay, hold up. And I don't need this. So, oh yeah, I don't need none of this shit anymore either. Oh wow, I got a lot of stuff still saved here. Yeah, I need to start checking my bookmarks here on Twitter. All right, so let's get into Ye. Right? So, Ye has been in the news once again this week for the things that he said weeks ago. I covered some of the things last week. There's more stuff that's came out. And I still have more to speak about. Now, before we get into this show, last week I told you guys that we might be looking at a 4-hour stream. We might be looking at another 4-hour stream, so buckle up, all right? Now, with that being said, last week my show was messed with twice. I do plan on having my show interrupted once again this week, because I will not hold back from what I'm saying, despite what everybody else is doing, despite what everybody else is saying. I will not be saying those same talking points. I will be giving you guys the real, raw truth about shit. All right? Now, with that being said, I will not hold my tongue on certain things as other people have, because they don't want either their YouTube channel snatched or they don't want to be apologizing or being sued. Look, I have nothing to sue for and no one has nothing to threaten me with. Now, with that being said, I will speak my mind and I will say wherever the hell I want to tonight, as I did last week. But it's going to be way worse this week. Now let's get into it. Let's get into this video, and then I will start talking with certain articles and certain things that I already know. So let's get into this.
Kanye West has been dropped as a client by CAA. The talent agency is the latest business to cut ties with the 45-year-old rapper following his recent anti-Semitic outbursts. As of last week, international fashion house Balenciaga also dropped Kanye. Besides CAA and Balenciaga, MRC studio executives Modi Wisick, Asif Sachu, and Scott Tenley announced in a press release on Monday that a completed documentary about Ye will also not be premiered anytime in the near future, with the execs writing in part, "This morning, after discussion with our filmmakers and distribution partners, we made the decision not to proceed with any distribution for our recently completed documentary about Kanye West. We cannot support any content that amplifies his platform. Kanye is a producer and sampler of music. Last week, he sampled and remixed a classic tune that has charted for over 3,000 years, the lie that Jews are evil and conspire to control the world for their own gain. The silence from leaders and corporations when it comes to Kanye or anti-Semitism in general is dismaying, but not surprising. What is new and sad is the fear Jews have about speaking out in their own defense." The news of CAA dropping Ye and the cancellation of his documentary comes one day after UTA CEO Jeremy Zimmer shared a memo on Sunday denouncing anti-Semitism and calling for a boycott of the heartless rapper, writing, "Regrettably, anti-Semitism, racism, and many forms of hate and intolerance are part of the fabric of society. Generally, they live as a plague, eroding the health of communities, and are combated by understanding, tolerance, and the general goodness of most people. But throughout history, some have used their public platform to spew the plague out loud and spread the contagion to dangerous effect. Kanye is the latest to do so, and we're seeing how his words embolden others to amplify their vile beliefs. Businesses aren't the only ones speaking out about Kanye's recent comments. His ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, shared her thoughts on Monday about the situation on Twitter, penning, "Hate speech is never okay or excusable. I stand together with the Jewish community and call on the terrible violence and hateful rhetoric towards them to come to an immediate end." Kim.
In other words, Kim is with them people now. So Kanye, by you stating yes, I want to get back with her, by stating that you still love her and all that, she's with them people. With all that being said, her saying it, that also means that she doesn't stand by anything that you have said. I posted a story on Tuesday, After all this stuff has been going on, he went on Lex Friedman's show and all of that, and people saying that he apologized to the Jewish community, which he really didn't. He only apologized to the low-level Jewish community that has no power. That's what he did. So, for people to say, well, for who said this? Lil Boozy, I believe it was Lil Duval. They both was like, oh, this nigga apologized. No, he didn't apologize to who you think he apologized to. He only apologized to the low-level Jews. All right? So, let's finish this video, and then I'll get into the article.
Sister Khloe Kardashian also seemingly addressed Kanye's anti-Semitic comments on Sunday by sharing Jerry Seinfeld's wife, Jessica Seinfeld's post to her own Instagram stories. The post read, "I support my Jewish friends and the Jewish people." She also tweeted a statement along with a pair of blue heart emojis. Kanye's anti-Semitic comments have been going on for a while now. Over the weekend, banners were put up on a 405 freeway overpass in Los Angeles that were in support of Kanye's past statements, which referenced the Bound 2 rapper's previous slurs.
All right. So, they're trying to say that Kanye is in a hot seat, which he's really not. And I will tell you why. So, Hollywood Talent Powerhouse. Hollywood Talent Agency, CAA, which stands for Creative Artist Agency, cuts ties with Ye after anti-Semitic tirade, the LA Times say. Now, if you guys haven't seen the memes that have been posted about this, so after all this rollout on Monday of Adidas cutting ties and all these other places cutting ties, people started making like these memes saying that, Curtis Jackson has cut ties to 50 Cent, or the Red Ranger has cut ties with the Power Rangers. So stupid shit like that, which was actually funny as well too, because people just took it and started running with it. They was like, oh, this seems like a good grift to grift off of. So, with that being said, I was sitting there. I wanted to make my own, but I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. One of them was Yogi decided to cut ties with Boo Boo, or whatever. That's one of the ties. Not one of the ties. I'm sorry. That's one of the things that I wanted to put down. I also wanted to put down. Rocky decided to cut ties with Bullwinkle. I wanted to do a whole bunch of them. So let's see. Let me get these people out of here. Block on YouTube. Block on YouTube. Block on YouTube. Okay, so that can't happen. I'll just block you guys on here. All right, so got some spam up in here, so obviously somebody has something to say, and it's right here on the screen. If you have anything to say, come on up. They must didn't like what I said last week, which is fine. I have more shit to say this week, so So Hollywood Talent Powerhouse Creative Agency, Creative Artists Agency, have cut ties with Kanye West, now legally known as Ye, following a series of anti-Semitic remarks by the artist. Well, they haven't really said what was anti-Semitic, so we're still in the dark about that. The agency has officially dropped the rapper as a client. A source familiar with the matter confirmed to CBS Money Watch on Monday. Film and television studio MRC Entertainment also said it would scrap a completed documentary about the rapper. Kanye is a producer and sampler of music, Last week, he sampled and remixed a classic tune that has charted for over 3,000 years. What? The lie? Oh, wow. The lie that Jews are evil and conspire to control the world for their gain. MRC said in a statement on its website, companies and fashion brands have faced mounted pressure to stop doing business with West, despite his legions of fans and the lucrative nature of the commercial partnership. The calls for companies to distance themselves from Ye come on the heels of his social media post about Jews, including a tweet saying he wanted to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Twitter and Instagram suspended Ye from the platform following the post. After the incident, Ye announced he would buy right-leaning social network Parler. In a world where conservative opinions are considered to be controversial, we have to make sure we have the right to freely express ourselves, he said in a statement. So, also what's happening, if you guys did not know, Kyrie Irving is also getting some backlash. Kyrie Irving, I believe it was Wednesday, he posted a picture of a movie that he watched on Amazon Prime called, let me see, I gotta look this up. Let's see what the movie's called, because I forgot that quick. I'm sorry, it wasn't Wednesday, it was Thursday night. So he watched the movie called it's called Hebrews to Negroes Wake Up Black America. So he posted this on, I believe, Instagram, if not Twitter. So the NBA, his I believe it's his general manager, put out a tweet as well stating this. I'm disappointed that Kyrie appears to support a film based on a book full of anti-Semitic disinformation, which that person did not read. I've never read the book as well, and I will be watching that movie tonight. I want to sit down and make sure he understands this is hurtful to all of us, and as a man of faith, it is wrong to promote hate based on race, ethnicity, or religion. But you never said what it was for, though. Let's get into it. He says this is bigger than basketball. But what is it bigger than? This comedy skit from a few years ago. Okay, whatever. 19 Keys says, let me enlarge this. "19 Keys says, can you give an example of disinformation?" This bio says, of course not. LOL. Let's get into that. Let's see what else someone says. It's those extremist sects that have often parroted classic anti-Semitic tropes, like claiming European Jews, often referred to as the synonym of willed outsized control over society, especially in industries like banking and the media. That's a good take there. And also, we want the people with the sizable influence to come up with a debatable point like you are providing. The people with influence are not doing so. They just in line with their team, no matter what. Main point really explain all these points you want people to follow. In other words, go with the narrative. Wasn't you also enforcing people get vaccinated and you trying to tell us about misinformation? No shit. And someone who she retweeted gives proof. That's crazy. The length that we go for real information, which I don't, hey, I'm all for it. All right, there's nothing else here that's worthwhile. So, that's some wild shit there. So we will get into Farrakhan in just a moment. Now, Adidas took heat until, and this is why.
The thing about it, me and Adidas, is like, I could literally say anti-Semitic and they can't drop me. I could say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me. Now what? Now what?
Now they just dropped you. That was Kanye West last week on a hip-hop podcast called Drink Champs, back when he was a billionaire and had a lot of contracts and bank accounts and agents. And the point here is, he thought they'd never do it. Thought a company based in Germany, Adidas, wouldn't drop a world-famous man spouting Jewish hate speech. Thought none of them would. And he was wrong. Kanye's been dropping rhymes about brands and money for years. He has a lot less of both tonight. Today, Adidas joined the long list of companies cutting ties with Ye, as he now calls himself. In a statement, officials with the athletic brand wrote in part, Adidas does not tolerate anti-Semitism and hate others and any other sort of hate speech. Ye's recent comments and actions have been unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous. The move costing Ye his billionaire status.
Hold on, y'all. This just in. Some Twitter username PopBase says use of the N-word on Twitter increased by 500% following Elon Musk's takeover, according to the NCRI. I don't know what that stands for, but wow. So the N-word is being used 100% times 5, which is 100% 5 times, because you can't have 500%, because a percent means per 100. So it only stops at 100%. So it's being used 5 times over of 100%. That's crazy. I did not know that. But wow. Anyway, let's get back into what we were doing. So
Forbes reports his net worth dropped to $400 million after Adidas dropped him. Their partnership was reportedly worth about $1.5 billion. Several other major businesses and brands have also dumped him. In fashion, Vogue, Balenciaga, and just today, The Gap yanked all his Yeezy stuff. JP Morgan and Chase kicked him out of the bank. Talent agent CAA dropped him as a client. Twitter and Instagram suspended all of his social media, everything. Not a good day for Ye at all. 15 years ago, he dropped The Good Life. He said, having money's not everything, not having it is. Now he's learning.
Artist formerly known as Kanye West is arguably one of the most successful in the music business, transcending beyond lyrics to also conquer the fashion industry. But partnerships with companies like Adidas now disappearing as he doubles down on anti-Semitic comments posted to social media, saying he would be, quote, going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
I care about me. It's for me to stand up. And God forbid I step on someone's toes while I'm at it.
It's not as you stepped on the entire Jewish people's toes. I don't like the term anti-Semitic. Black people are also Jew. I classify as Jew also. So I actually can't be an anti-Semite. So the term is actually, it's not factual.
Last month, Ye made business headlines when he announced the end of his Yeezy apparel partnership with Gap, unhappy with the way the deal played out.
There was a lot of potential in this deal, but it sounds like you're terminating.
Well, don't bring a leader in and have them not lead. Why would I argue with people who are getting paid by the Gap? I'm sorry, I'm not going to argue with people that are broker than me about money.
Today, the company announced it would immediately pull any Yeezy-related merchandise from its...
We can't let that slide because Kanye was dead fucking serious. He said, man, I'm not fucking arguing with people who are brokered than me. Like, what the hell? The hell do I look like doing this? Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Did it take a little longer than people would have expected? Yes.
The Anti-Defamation League, which had pressured corporations to sever ties, applauding the move.
But at the end of the day, the move that Adidas did, what the Gap has done, what others have done to distance themselves from Kanye West suggests that there is accountability for anti-Semitism and hate.
And tonight, the fallout continues. Just within the last hour, Aaron Donald with the Rams and Jaylen Brown with the Celtics announced they are leaving Ye's sports marketing agency. And in the midst of all of this controversy, Ye announced he will be buying Parler, the right-wing social media platform. So, Shep, he still has that.
Give him a place to respond. Thanks, Valerie.
All right. So Adidas has cut ties with Kanye West. It's not surprising. This is why. There's a lot of people was cutting ties with Kanye on Monday. It's not surprising. Now, French fashion house Balenciaga recently ended its partnership with Ye, while Adidas is took heat for not severing its ties with the rapper. Ari Emanuel, CEO of talent firm Endeavor, last week penned an op-ed in the Financial Times urging all enterprises to stop working with Ye over his anti-Semitism. Now, this is what Kanye had to say to Ari. So let me bring this down first because I think I got it in the wrong place. All right. This is what Kanye said to Ari. Hope you guys can see this. It says, Ari Emanuel, I lost $2 billion in one day and I'm still alive. This is love speech. I still love you. God still loves you. The money is not who I am. The people is who I am. Okay, you guys can't see that. Why is this not showing? It's right there. That's what Kanye wrote on Instagram. Which is funny that I should bring this up. I posted something on this is what I forgot to man, I am off today. Like, what the hell is going on? I usually got all this stuff ready and done for you guys. It was probably first week back shock. That's probably what it is. All right, so import this over as well. So this is an Elon thing. Twitter will be forming okay. So to go back to to go back to the Elon thing. Let's hope that this shows. Hold on, I gotta see if this shows on y'all's screen real fast. It's not showing on y'all's screen for some reason. I don't know why. All right. So it says Twitter will be forming a content moderation council with widely diverse viewpoints. No major content decisions or account reinstatements will happen before that council convenes. So that's a measure. That's one thing I forgot to speak about with the Elon thing. So that's one measure that Elon is doing to help further his acquisition, because he needs to know how bad it's gonna get on Twitter. He needs this committee for that. He also needs the committee to basically investigate he needs this group to also look at reinstatement as well, as far as Twitter users who have been kicked off and suspended from the platform. He also needs them to look at those accounts as well. If it was basically he wants to do this. If it was something really bad that they did, he probably won't reinstate them. If it was something that could be looked over and it's like, oh, well, that wasn't that bad, that's when he'll think about, or this council will think about reinstatement of certain accounts. But so far of what he's said, that Kanye and Alex Jones definitely will be coming back, as well as some other folks as well. So sorry for the inconvenience that I put on you guys today with certain things. But our friend Kanye, like I said, he's coming back. He's being bullied basically in the news. So, JP Morgan Chase has also ended its business relationship with Ye, but did not say the breakup was a result of Ye's recent hateful outbursts. Gap also no longer has a relationship with Ye after he terminated the lucrative partnership early. Ye has diligently tried to work through these issues with Gap, both directly and through counsel, but he has gotten nowhere. His lawyer, Nicole Gravante Jr., or Nicholas, I said Nicole, Nicholas Gravante Jr. told CBS Money Watch last month Gap left him no choice but to terminate their agreement. Here is the list of businesses no longer working with Ye. I will list them out. Adidas pulled away from him early this week. Balenciaga also earlier this week. CAA, which was first reported on Monday, they cut ties. Def Jam no longer houses Kanye or his Good Music Group record label. Gap pulls his products off of its shelves and cancels the Yeezy Gap website. So, TJ Maxx also has cut ties, pulling away from him earlier this week. Basically, I guess he has TJ Maxx for resellability of his shoes and his clothes. JP Morgan Chase, that was the first thing that we heard a few weeks ago, and I will be getting into that. And MRC Entertainment, this was the company that was earlier spoke of that scrapped his already finished documentary, of which he was producing, or they were producing. Also, another person who has pulled away from him as well is Johnny Depp's lawyer drops Kanye West over anti-Semitism. Page 6 says, so Johnny Depp's attorney, who helped lead him to victory in his defamation trial against Amber Heard, was reportedly stopped working with Kanye West due to his anti-Semitic remarks. Camille Vasquez is informed her firm, Brown Rudnick, that she was not willing to represent the billionaire rapper less than a week after he hired her. TMZ reported on Monday, sources told the outlet that despite the well-represented lawyer's stance, her firm was still open to working with West. So basically all he has to do is pick a new lawyer. He doesn't have to work with Camille herself. However, the Yeezy CEO refused to back down, saying in an impromptu press conference outside his daughter North's basketball game on Friday night, I want to talk about the Jewish comment. It's proven the exact point that I made. It's going to take all of us to come together. We gotta get the truth. We gotta get the truth before we can get the love. If not, we are just loving the lies, which is true. And I'll speak on that. Every time someone black speaks on our heritage, our historic heritage, when it involves us speaking about us being Hebrews, being or having the Judaism, not being in being with the what the hell am I saying? Us being Hebrews and us also practicing historically Judaism, right? It's always sprouted. It always sprouts up that we're being anti-Semitic. How is it that we're being anti-Semitic? Told you guys last week. Judaism was a dead religion to us during the Crusade Wars, the war between Christianity and Islam, right? I basically iterated, which was not really historical fact of what I said, but it is historical fact. I'm sorry. It is historical fact that basically, and I kind of just gave like a basically I said that they was like, hey, the Jewish people was like, hey, do you mind if we practice this religion? And the Christians and the Muslims said, nah, we don't mind, just don't get yourself involved in this. And the rest is history. For us to say this, right? It's upsetting to them for some reason. I don't know. I don't understand. Like, yes, we were Hebrews at a point, yes. The Egyptians, who also were us, enslaved us as well. As you go down the line with the movie that just came out, The Woman King, which depicts the Dahomey tribe capturing and enslaving black people like themselves, the traditions didn't end from start to from the start all the way to its bitter end. It didn't stop. Historical fact is there. Yes, black people enslaved black people. Yes, we did. Also, Arabs have enslaved black folks, as well as, get this, Jewish people have enslaved black people. Now, if you guys go into the book that I spoke of last week that you can find on the Nation of Islam, and I got the website wrong last week. I said NOI.com is actually NOI.org. Go to books. Those two, the Part 1 and Part 2 of the secret relationship between blacks and Jews is right there. Grab both of them, read them, and you'll be educated by everything that I'm speaking about right now. Now, I know I just upsetted some people, but I don't really give a fuck right now. So, now, where was I at? Okay. Just days earlier, West issued they're probably saying a half apology on Piers Morgan, which he didn't. On Piers Morgan, uncensored, saying he was sorry for the people I hurt with the DEF CON, with DEF CON, the confusion I caused. I feel like I caused hurt and confusion. Brown Rudnick was reportedly fired after it held the power rapper to the condition that he should apologize. A rep for Vasquez and the firm did not immediately report Page 6 requests for comment. The Los Angeles-based lawyer was supposed to represent West in his business matters, handling contracts and other deals, according to TMZ. The fashion moguls partnership have been hanging by a thread, with Balenciaga officially cutting ties with him last week, and Adidas under severe pressure to do so as well. In an interview on Drink Champs, West reportedly boasted, "I can say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me. Now what?" The apparel company said earlier this month that its deal with West was under review, but has yet to announce an official decision. Kanye West has talked himself out of more than $1.5 billion, according to Forbes. Okay, I will get into this. After weeks of bigoted comments caused Adidas to terminate their partnership. Now, I will say this. How is it that Kanye West says what he says, but Charlemagne gets unchecked after Charlemagne has said the same things in prior years, 9 years to be exact? Charlemagne the God has said what he said about the Jewish community himself, the same of what, get this, Kanye West has said. Let's get into what Charlemagne the God had to say about the Jewish community. Now, you will hear Charlemagne the God say exactly what Kanye West has said, saying that they do run shit. This is what he'll say in just a minute. Look. Now, Kanye West said the same thing. That's weird that this music just came on. But Kanye West said the same thing that Charlemagne said just 9 years ago. This is the difference between it, though. Kanye West said it in a way where he wasn't really boasting about it. He just was like, "Yeah, Jews run shit." Like, and I'm here to tell you guys here today. What did Charlemagne just say? The reason why there aren't any Jewish rappers is because there's Jewish label execs, and CEOs and heads of record labels. Why should they be in the rap game if they're already in the rap game? Like, they don't need to spit bars because they're earning money from those bars, right? Now, with this Forbes thing, right? They said Forbes reported that now that Kanye was going to get a $1.5 billion, what is it, a 1.5, I guess 1.5 billion in sales, I guess, that he'll get a revenue from sales that he would have got, right? But the real research, if you do it with Forbes really, they don't know anybody's real net worth. Forbes they estimate. Forbes doesn't know anything of the sort. They're just guesstimating. So when they came out and said reports that Kanye West is no longer a billionaire, how so? How do we know this? Because Forbes told us? Now, I hope you guys know that Forbes is a for-profit company. Now, I spoke about what a non-profit is before. Let's speak on that. So I talked about Black Lives Matter being a non-for-profit company, basically meaning that the money that they receive from donations, they have to then use that money, which they had $60 million on hand before they got the $90 million in 2020, which comes up to $150 million, right? So they have that money on hand. They didn't spend all of that money all at once, but if you watch Candace Owens' documentary, you will then see where some of that money went, such as brothels and prostitutes and all this other crazy shit. You can be mad at me all you want because I brought Candace Owens' The Greatest Lie Ever Sold. You can be mad at me all you want. All you gotta do is educate yourself. All you gotta do is take what she says and then research to see if that's exactly where that money went. That's exactly where that money went. Now, by them not using all that money, they then become a for-profit company. Now, that's exactly what Forbes is. What is a for-profit company? Well, whatever money that they receive, they can either buy or acquiesce with other businesses that they please, or if they're under another umbrella, they whoever is the parent company of Forbes can then take such revenue and either buy another magazine, or they can just come up with a business such as like a news or televised news organization of some sort. They can use the money, which they are for profit. They can use that money from the profits that they've made and create other businesses, or go into research and development, or do whatever that they need to do with the money. All right. Now, with that being said, Forbes is also with them Khazars, the Khazarian people, or in the Ashkenazis. Who are these people? Well, they are the Jewish community. By them saying that, well, them echoing the same sentiments, but in business form, in money form, that saying that Kanye West is no longer a billionaire is the same type of warfare that the news is taking with them. They're just doing it in a different way. They are a pocket watching type of business. They watch the pockets of all the billionaires and millionaires and trillionaires out there. And then they report to us what they've bought, what they're doing with said money, and so on and so forth. How do they know that information unless they have some sort of inside track, or if someone that they're reporting on tells them? Which I said this to a coworker of mine when it came to them asking me, why doesn't your girlfriend know who your friends are? I said, would you let anybody look at how much money you have in your bank account? They said no. I said, well, that's exactly how I feel about people coming to see my friends. Why would you allow someone to understand what your net worth is? We all know when it comes to these billionaires and these trillionaires, which there really isn't one other than Apple. They became $1 trillion company. In these millionaires, you do know that their net worth is wrapped up in properties and assets. They're not reporting on liquid cash. Like, by them saying, well, Kanye West is no longer a billionaire. How do they know this information? How do they know that Kanye West is no longer a billionaire because he decided to say something that would allow all of his partners that he has made deals with to walk away from him? Why would Kanye do this? I'll tell you why. This is so ridiculous because y'all went on Twitter and Instagram and on Facebook to gloat that this man is no longer a billionaire. How do you guys know this information? Because these outlets as well as Forbes told you this? Is that why you believe that he's no longer a billionaire? I will trump that and say no. Kanye West is still a billionaire. This is why. You fail to realize this. Ye has been talking, and Ye has been talking. He's been talking some good shit and some real shit. This is what Kanye West has been talking about. If Ye would have walked away from his Balenciaga, his Adidas, his Gap, all these other places that he's made deals with, made contracts with, and have guaranteed promised contracts or deals with these people, if he was to walk away from them, he could be sued by these companies for however many amount of dollars that they want, right? They could take him for everything that he's worth, right? This is why Kanye didn't walk away from these deals. Because if he knows that if he would have walked away, it would have voided all of these deals and he would have gotten in trouble, right? So what does he do? He starts talking. He starts talking in a way that makes a certain group, the Khazarian and Ashkenazi Jews, a bit uncomfortable. Because he's actually telling the truth that has been said numerous times by numerous people. One of these people is one of my actual heroes. And this is what he had to tell Kanye when it comes to apologizing to people. Take it away, Farrakhan.
Lie? No, he told the truth. And the ADL, Mr. Foxman, issued a press.
Let me start this over. Y'all didn't hear. Y'all probably didn't even hear the Charlemagne the God shit, and I just deleted it as well. So I don't know if there's a way I can get that back or not. I will. Anyway, what Charlemagne said was this. He said the same thing Kanye said 9 years ago. He basically but he said it in a way where he was scared to talk about it. And Kanye said it more in like he knew what he was talking about type of way. Okay, so back to this. Since you guys couldn't hear this the first time, I'm still working on the sound. Let's take it from here, from the very beginning.
Now the ADL has jumped on Kanye West because he said black people don't have the same level of connections as Jewish people. Black people don't have the same connection as oil people, quote. Did he lie? No, he told the truth. And the ADL, Mr. Foxman, issued a press release on the 2nd day of December 2013. And this executive director said, quote, if the comments are true as reported, this is classic anti-Semitism. There it goes again. The age-old canard that Jews are all-powerful. No, you're not all-powerful, but you certainly are powerful. And you control the levers of government. You don't want to admit it. But as a celebrity, you're telling Kanye West he should know better. He does know better, and that's why he said what he said. Then you said to him, we hope that he would take responsibility for his words, understand why they are so offensive, and apologize to those he has offended. You know what, Mr. Foxman? I wish you and I could have a dialogue. You wouldn't put that small-time stuff over on me that you put on scared-to-death Negroes, that if they mention Jew and you call them anti-Semitic, they start bowing to you and your pressure. Kanye West, don't bow to the pressure to apologize to anybody. You said nothing wrong. Who are you, Farrakhan, to tell him that he said nothing wrong? I am directly from the Christ.
Now, that was Farrakhan stating that he was not wrong as well, which has been widely spoken of when it comes to Farrakhan, because the Jewish community really has a bad disdain for him. Now, this whole Kyrie Irving thing, let's get into that as well, because a follower of the Nation of Islam.
So let's be real.
Sorry. The follower of the Nation of Islam, Rizza Islam, is talking about the Kyrie Irving thing. And this is exactly what he has to say, Rizza Islam has to say.
So let's be real, and I'm sure some Jewish people are experiencing things too, of course. Let's just be real, though. Which brings us to our next question as it pertains to you and the Jewish control and the Jewish hand in the slave trade of our people, black people. I just have a few questions for you, if you don't mind. Did you own black slaves in the South at all? Did you sponsor and fund the shackles, the chains that went around our wrists, our neck, and our ankles, and the ships themselves? Did you not sponsor and fund those ships that transported a lot of our family members from Africa
to hear? Were you not the sellers when we were being sold on the auction block to other plantations? Were you not the people who were helping to sell us, the actual auctioneers? You know, we got a nigga here. He's 6'2", very strong. Was that not you? Really quick. For those of you who are saying, well, Reza, you're causing division. No, hell no. What we're doing is we are bringing out questions, because everyone who is Jewish can talk about their pain all the time. But when black people decide to bring up very valid questions, now we're causing division. Now this is a problem. Oh, we're pushing hate. I'm asking you questions. I didn't accuse you of anything. So am I anti-Semitic for asking questions?
Now, that's the only thing that has been sprouting here on the interwebs. Are we sprouting hate? Because we're basically telling this community exactly who we are. Just like Kanye West said. And him saying these things allowed these companies to then sever ties away from him. No, we don't want to work with this man anymore. No, we don't feel like that we should be entertaining what he said about said people, about the Khazarians and the Ashkenazis. So, y'all say that he's broke because you read something on Forbes, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. He's no longer a billionaire. He only has $400 million now from his $6 billion empire that he had. I'll tell you that he still has it. He hasn't lost any money. All of that money is still guaranteed to him because he held up his end of the bargain. It doesn't nullify, since he said that he doesn't get paid from said sales. Kanye West also said that Adidas and Gap stole his ideas when it comes to his apparel. Y'all say that, you know, Kanye West is broke. How so? Now, he would void his contract if he would have walked away from them. Like he spoke of earlier this month or last month. He said that, you know, he wants to terminate his partnership with the Gap because they don't understand his vision, and at that, they're pricing his clothes too high, as well as Adidas with the shoes. So what does he do? He goes out and tells us exactly who we are. We've heard this numerous times over the years. Farrakhan has said it. Who else has said it? Farrakhan has said it. If you look into the black conscious community, a lot of our teachers have said that. If you look into various times over the course of years, black people speaking when it comes to this subject, they're always called anti-Semitic. Just like Kanye West is. I'm sorry, I'm saying Kanye West. This is like Ye is saying this now. He's not just saying it for his own health. He's saying it because he knows that it is true, just like a lot of us know that it is true. So what do they do? They then cut ties with him. But these contracts are still made in a way that still guarantees him that he still gets his end of the bargain. They still have to withhold their end of the bargain, as well as Kanye had to withhold his end of the bargain. His end of the bargain was he designs and allows Adidas and Gap to sell his apparel. Their end of the bargain is that they do so as well, and they pay him for his efforts. Kanye West also said that Adidas and Gap has stolen his ideas and has used them throughout the years, which I believe is so true because Adidas didn't have the canvas style shoes such as Kanye West has done. I have a few pairs myself, of which I can say yes, they did steal his ideas. So, with with them severing the contracts with him, you guys are now saying that now where's he gonna go to sell his stuff? Well, it's an easy It's an easy answer to an easy question. Kanye West is good friends with his old boss or partner, I should say, Dame Dash. Dame Dash spoke to his artists a lot about ownership. He spoke a lot about ownership when he had an interview with the Breakfast Club. He basically asked the Breakfast Club, did they own their spot and did they own the station that they worked at? They all said no, all three of them. Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God, and DJ Envy. He also asked DJ Envy, hey, if your son wanted to come up here and get a job, do you think can he just walk in and start working? DJ Envy answered, he said no. Why is this? Because he doesn't own the company. DJ Envy then said, well, I own shares to this company, so I do own a piece of the company, as do I with my company. But do you actually own part of the company? No, you do not. You only own profitable money that is made that the company makes. That is the bargain that you you basically have. I can't make a decision within my company just because I own a piece of it. I own a very minuscule amount of the company that I work for. Very small, very, very small. Such as DJ Envy. You don't own all of iHeart. You don't own what was it, 105.7 that you work for. You don't own those companies. You work for those companies. So, what do you think Kanye West is thinking, since he has such an amazing friend in Dame Dash and as an old business partner when he worked for Rockefeller Records? Dame Dash has basically done the straight to consumer market with all of his products that he presents to the public, such as his app, which houses a lot of his content on, such as him having acquisitions in all kinds of companies, such as Dash Oil and so on and so forth. His Dame Dash's son, which he's also a business partner with his son, which he has a cookie company. Dame Dash holds a stake with that company. Now, what is this market that I speak of? Well, it's the direct-to-consumer market, which basically blocks out the middlemen such as Adidas and whatever distributor that they were using. Which means you go onto a Yeezy website whenever he decides to develop this stuff and get apparel and his shoes at affordable prices. You'll have to pay shipping and handling probably as well whenever he comes to that. But this is the model probably Kanye is looking at, is the direct-to-consumer model. Why? It's a better model. You know why? Who else uses this model? Amazon uses this model, direct-to-consumer. You can go onto Amazon, pick whatever products you want, order it online. It'll be right to your door within, well, if you're not an Amazon Prime customer, it won't be there the next day. If you're a customer like me, which I only go on Amazon every once in a while, it'll be to me within the next 7 days to a month, if not 2 months from now. depending on where I'm getting my products from. If it's coming from China, it has to go through customs. I won't see it until a month and a half from now. So But this is the model which Kanye is probably looking at, the direct to consumer model. Because if you can directly buy both his shoes and his clothes from his if you can buy both his shoes and his apparel from a one-stop shop, then that's probably the model that he's looking at, which makes you more money overall. He also can look at making brick and mortar stores, such as standalone stores or stores that can go into malls around the country. So that's probably another thing that he's looking at. Also, I would say Def Jam fucked up because we are now in the economy of a new artist coming up can be independent and can make all of their money. It's a lot of artists now that are doing this, such as I brought him up last week. Chance the Rapper, he's an independent rapper. He owns his own masters. He owns his own company that he runs to get his music out. Such as a lot of new rappers today, they saw the model of which older rappers were going under, such as going to the record labels, begging for a chance to be put on, and then if they did get that chance, be fucked out of money for years, of which they don't know, such as most people who are in the record industry didn't know that they can audit the company that they work for. What does this audit entail? This audit entails, well, I sold 10 million records. I only seen $100 from this entire album coming out or a single being out. Why is it that I've only received $100? There's more money here, I believe. So they audit the company. The company then has to show the books, like, okay, well, this is his first day album sales, his first week album sales, his second week album sales, and so on and so forth. And then if they were in the wrong when doing so, they then have to pay that money out to that artist. So with that being said, Def Jam fucked up because now Kanye can now be direct to consumer. Now he can either do it to where you can buy his albums, either on his physical albums on a website if he chooses to do so, along with the Yeezy brand, or it'll be straight to streaming. Or you can buy his record on various music outlets such as Google Music, Apple Music, YouTube Music, all Spotify, all of these places where you can find albums and listen to music. It's direct to consumer now. He can do this with his good music group as well as himself. So he can sign himself to his record label now. He can then go on with his business as usual when it comes to the music. So, with that being said, since he can sell direct to consumer with all of his products that he can present to us, what money did he lose? He'll be gaining more now instead of having to wait for an advance from a record label, then create his album, then pay artists that he wants on his album, and then wait for them to shelve it for 6 months to a year and then release it. If he wants to create a song right now, get it all mixed up, he can release it tomorrow. If not, at midnight tonight. You people think too small. You're very small-minded. It's very retarded in the way that you guys think. Because only if you knew what Kanye could do when it comes to him being on his own now, the possibilities are endless. And from this small thinking, you only think within the moment, you only think what you're presented with instead of doing your own research and then seeing what is possible out here. You guys then can be bamboozled like the other sheep out here. Me myself personally, once I hear something, I'll let it resonate in my mind for a few hours, if not a day or two or so, and then I'll do my research on it just to see if it's actually true. A lot of these things that you guys have been reading and looking at aren't really that true. Kanye West probably has more money that he's acquiesced within the past 2 weeks than what is being reported out in the news. You got to remember, these are all smear campaigns to ruin him as a person and also as a business person. This is all smear campaigns to have it to where no other company will work with him. He doesn't want people to suck him dry anymore. He doesn't want to stress about shit. He doesn't want to go to sleep at night and then wake up thinking another bullshit day today. He is now in control of his own he's now in control of his own now. He can do whatever the hell he wants. So you still think that Ye has lost? He has not. He has lost nothing but weight from all of these leeches and these backstabbers that he was in partnerships with, sucking him dry and stressing him the fuck out. This is how you think, people. This is how you guys register information. You look at what is being said at the moment and then you run with it. This is why you get memes such as Rocky severs ties with Bullwinkle, or 50 Cent severs ties with Curtis Jackson. This is why you get memes like this, because you only think within the moment. You only think what is presented to you right then and there. This is why a lot of news outlets are saying that almost all companies have severed ties with Kanye. But resellers aren't cutting ties with Yeezy at all, says TMZ. There's an entire market of people patiently waiting to sell their Yeezy shoes for what they hope will be a big chunk of cash. And it's exactly why resale websites are among the only entities yet to cut ties with Kanye West. We've spoken with several people at some of the resale industry's biggest sites who all tell us the same thing. Yeezys are about to go way up in value. We're told this will happen as supply for the shoe continues to dwindle now that Adidas has cut the cord. Our sources say resale sites and sellers have a big motivating factor profit, and that's what Yeezys bring to the market. Of course, it's assumed in doing so, Kanye, or Ye as he is really called, will choose a new design type different from what he created with Adidas. As a result, the Adidas designs will skyrocket in value, so resellers and resale sites will rack in the dough. TMZ broke the story. Ye showed up unannounced in and uninvited to Skechers headquarters Wednesday, but was quickly asked to leave. This is what's going on. Yeezy is not welcome anywhere, but who really cares, right? So to continue with the story before I got into my rant, Yee, as he is now legally known, began the year with an estimated net worth of $2 billion and is probably still sitting there at that $2 billion. And after the release of Donda 2 and a summer of high-profile fashion rollouts, the number had likely grown. But a lot of that value came from branded partnerships that he has since shed. In September, he and Gap agreed to end the Yeezy Gap line, and that came before anti-Semitic posts led to restrictions on West's social media accounts. Afterwards, as more reports began to surface that Ye had praised Hitler, J.P. Morgan Chase unbanked him. Now, let me speak about that real fast. When in history has that ever happened? Like, ever? Has anybody ever has received a notice from the bank that they are banking with, business-wise or personal? When has that ever happened in history where they send you a letter stating that we are going to start severing ties with you? You have until such and such date to collect your money from our bank, right? When has that ever happened? Well, I will say this. It's never happened. This is the first time in history that it has ever happened. And I will tell you this. It's not the last time. Kanye is only the catalyst to this. He's only the very first part in what this looks like by people being debanked. Now, this is another thing that's happening as well. Elon Musk's old company, PayPal, that he started with his brother, is now on the books stating that anyone who is a member on their website or their app or their company, right? That how can I put this? That anyone who dispels disinformation will be fined they will be fined $2,500 each disinformation that they project. How is that legal? How can you fine someone for something that they say? How is this possible? People, we are entering a way of the world that we've never seen before. I'll tell you guys this shit right now. By this happening, by Kanye being debanked, by PayPal stating that if anyone dispels disinformation, misinformation, or malinformation, they will deduct $2,500 out of their PayPal accounts. How would they then get that information if someone has done so? Well, a lot of the YouTubers that you guys like so much, they, when receiving funds from either their super chats or so on and so forth, they use PayPal. So now these people have to figure out some sort of way to either not dispel, dismiss, or malinformation, or they have to either deal with the accruing $2,500 deductible cost that PayPal will be doing to them, or they can just do this. What has been sprouting up in recent months, a parallel economy. which basically what the right is using right now, because such platforms are doing these things, which you guys should start getting familiar with. So, how is it possible for JP Morgan Chase to tell Kanye, come and get your money because you're not welcome here anymore? How is this possible for that to happen? How is this even legal for that to happen? These are questions that we need to start asking ourselves, because this is one thing that's going to start happening. You know, all this shit that's happening with Kanye, him being basically blackballed from shit. I'm calling him Kanye. I'm sorry, Kanye. To Ye. You know what's happening to Ye right now? It's a little something that's going on in China called the social credit score. What is the social credit score? Well, go on to Netflix, go to season 3, episode 1 of Black Mirror. That's exactly what the hell I'm talking about. That very episode where Bryce Dallas Howard's character basically wakes up every day, where social media has taken over the world, right? Everyone had a score. All your high rich people was all the way up in the 7 to 8 to 900s. Bryce Dallas Howard, she was kind of like white collar, sort of kind of in the upper middle class or so. And then her brother in the show, he was in like the 2 to 400s, which he was considered scum to the rest of the world due to his social credit score. This is what America is trying to do, people. They're trying to put us on a social credit score system. In that show, any good deed anyone did, you gave them a ranking. You gave them some points. That's exactly what the fuck's going on in China. If you get a parking ticket, a jaywalking ticket, it is taken out that money then gets taken out of your bank account. You might serve some jail time. Also, your social credit score gets hit with a deduction. Sounds kind of similar to the show, because at the end of that show, Bryce Dallas Howard was she hit 0 basically, and that score decides if you're a free person or not, which then put her in jail along with other people, which at the end was a laughable manner between her and the other gentleman that was in the cell across from her, because it's a fucking cuckoo crazy fucking world that you have to be this fake person that you don't want to be. Exactly what Kanye is doing right now as well. He no longer wants to be the Ye that entertains. He wants to be the Ye who actually leads and inspires people. That's what Kanye wants to do. But he also needs, and this is what a lot of people do when they finally realize, when they're finally sick of dealing with the shit that they're dealing with, they start telling the truth in order to start the revolution of which they want to start. Now, a lot of people online, I think I was going to call y'all out, did y'all? A lot of y'all motherfuckers are siding with these Khazarians and Ashkenazis. A lot of y'all motherfuckers are. By calling them stupid and all this. And I read that shit from last week of what Howard Stern said when talking about Ye and what he's been doing. Like, y'all don't understand. Just because you see this shit and it looks foreign that it can never happen to you, No, it can very well happen to you too. You gotta remember what climate we are in. We are in the Biden years. A lot of fuck shit has happened since Biden has taken office. Just like a lot of fuck shit happened while Obama was in office. Just like a lot of fuck shit that we didn't see when Trump was in office. But some fuck shit happened while Trump was in office. But this is what you guys have to look at as well. When Kanye made his statements, he wasn't doing this for himself. He was doing this for the black community within a whole. A lot of y'all motherfuckers have crazy words to say about this man, saying that since he said he doesn't read, he's not a good he wouldn't make a good leader. Well, I would trump you on that. In the Bible, it was stated that Moses could not read, or well, if you take the iteration, it'll say that he was that he was illiterate. Basically, he couldn't read or write. But what happened? Moses couldn't speak as well. He didn't have a. He was kind of. What's the term? What's the medical term for those people who are very tonguey when they talk? They talk like this. That's how Moses spoke. So what Moses would do, he got his brother to translate everything that he was saying to the people. Moses couldn't read, write, nor speak. Well, I'm pretty sure Kanye can read, write, and he speaks a lot. Just because he says he doesn't read books, that just means he doesn't want to take someone else's writings and thoughts into his mind. You gotta remember, he's a creative. He doesn't need outside influences to then fog his mind up from what he either wants to create, because they say that imitation is a form of flattery or whatever that they say. I think that's the phrase. But we gotta look at who Kanye is. Well, you know, he's a great producer, rapper. You know what I'm saying? He does all that stuff when it comes to music. He's a great designer. You know, people love his shoes. I don't know too many people who wears his clothes, but you know, whoever wears his clothes, more power to y'all. But this is what you guys have to look at. JP Morgan Chase debanked him, told him he has by, I believe, the 12th of November to get his money out of that account and then go and bank with someone else, which I'm pretty sure he has somebody on that right now. He has some. He probably has a financial lawyer where he's getting that worked out right now. But this is one thing that you guys don't understand. What is happening to Kanye can also happen to you as well. You fail to realize this because you sit so low on the totem pole and you don't make as much money as this man does. You think that you'll never lose your job by the things that you say. You don't think that you'll be debanked by your bank by the things that you say. You probably believe that you won't have your family turn against you by the things that you say, but depending on where your family stands with certain things, you might just as well experience the same thing that Kanye's experiencing right now. But you fail to realize that because you're so inept in being distracted from shit that you just don't believe certain things, which is cool. You don't have to believe everything. I'm fine with y'all not believing everything. I don't believe everything as well, but I do my own research and I do have my own thoughts. This is why I always say, hey, welcome to the show. your favorite free thinker, blah, 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 blah. I think for myself. I don't have people thinking for me, nor will I take a thought. That's the reason why I'm not a joiner. I don't join things, because someone's rhetoric can very well influence what you think about certain things. That's how cults are started, i.e. LGBTQ, i.e. Antifa, i.e. Black Lives Matter, i.e. you put the organization there. They have some sort of indoctrination that you have to follow, which doesn't allow you to think for yourself. What's happening with the schools right now? Well, in a lot of the public schools, there's a lot of readings of which parents aren't or don't know of. And then when they do know of these things and they go to these parent teacher meetings or these school board meetings, and then a parent presents said things to the board about what they don't want their child and other children to learn, so it all gets pushed under the rug because it's not a part of the narrative. This is what you guys have to understand. What is happening right now is a good depiction of what's happening to Ye. Is a good depiction of what's happening around the country right now. Look at everything that you see in the news that the far left don't see as negative. Oh, it is. Federally now, it's either federally or statewide in any state that a parent cannot deny their children gender reaffirming surgeries. Why is this a thing that needs to happen? Because a kid shouldn't know, or a kid shouldn't be thinking these things at the age that they are. Well, I want to be this gender. I want to be that gender. Who told you this? The school told them this. That's the reason why they think this. It's not anymore you can be whatever you want to be as far as career goes. It's you can be whatever you want to be overall. If you want to be a girl, you can. If you want to be a dog, you can. If you want to be a boy, you can. If you want to be an elephant, you can. If you want to be a lion, you can. Pay close attention what the fuck is happening in this country. We're being laughed at by a lot of motherfucking world leaders, such as Putin, such as the Saudi Arabian prince is laughing at Biden for the fuck shit he does. A lot of world leaders are laughing at what we call the world superpower. Well, when we become a laughing stock, we then don't become as threatening as we used to be. Start paying attention to certain things because you might learn something. Also, with this whole thing with Ye and him being debanked and being deplatformed and being all of this can happen to you. Just know. Now, I played Farrakhan. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan is really hated in this country by not only the U.S. government, but the Jewish people, as well as black people who may not like what he has to say, or white people who may not like what he has to say, Mexicans, Chinese, whatever. A lot of people hate Farrakhan, but Farrakhan does not issue hate when it comes to all these other races and religions. You will hear Farrakhan always say, "I am a brother to you" when it comes to such and such religion. I am a brother to you when it comes to whatever your ethnic background is. Farrakhan says this, but he doesn't let these people off the hook, which is why these very same people hate him. Now, how is it that Charlemagne says what Kanye said 9 years prior, but now Charlemagne is going against Ye and what he had to say, which is the very same thing of what you said, Charlemagne, years prior? Do you see the conundrum? Do you see the bullshit happening right in front of you that you're not actually looking at, that you're not actually paying attention to, that you're not, or that you don't have an actual knowledge and understanding of? Like, this shit isn't rocket science, people. Crack a book open, start studying. You'll start learning something. All right? Now, in October, he also wore the White Lives Matter apparel and spread the conservative misinformation that George Floyd, who was murdered by a police officer, had died of a fentanyl overdose. Well, let's get into that as well. I spoke on that as well last week. This is what I had to say. That although he didn't die from the fentanyl itself, which, if you watch the trial, Dr. Tobin and Dr. Baker both said it played a contributing factor to it. I went over what the effects on the body was. 2 of those was respiratory disruption and a pulmonary embolism, I believe I said. No, cardiac restriction and respiratory some restriction as well, I believe. Which respiratory restriction means that you don't have the ability to take a full deep breath. You're basically laboring and breathing. Then with the pulmonary restriction, meaning that your heart rate is either up higher or it's not beating as much as it usually would. Which I also went over with you that George Floyd had an enlarged heart, which also could have played a contributing factor to why he probably had a pulmonary restriction, which then not enough oxygen by respiratory restriction, not enough air is getting into the lungs, which is then being released into the bloodstream, which is then going to the heart. Like, it's all a contributing factor here. Everything that happened to this man is a contributing factor. The fentanyl, which he had a lethal amount of in his system, they say, by Chauvin and King and the other white guy, being on not only his legs, his back, and his neck. All contributing factors. Now, where was I? Floyd's family is now suing for $250 million, which I told you they have no standing other than the emotional distress portion. They can try to stress that as much as possible, but it's best if they try to settle out of court because they're not getting that full 250 because we have a thing here called appeals. Kanye can then appeal, and then whatever the amount of money was in the beginning probably won't be the same at the end after the appeal. He probably won't get anything. If they find out that Kanye has good representation, they probably might rethink their stance. Adidas is just the latest domino to fall, and it has been a long time coming. He had accused the company of ripping off his designs and selling non-partnered merchandise in markets like China, and in an attempt to free himself from the contract, he tried to intimidate executives by showing them pornography. Forbes estimated that the Adidas partnership was worth about $1.5 billion to Ye. His current net worth is now thought to be around $400 million, which, like I said, he probably has more money than the $2 billion that they said that he had. On October 25th, Gap released a statement suggesting they were trying to speed up their divorce from Ye. We are taking immediate steps to remove Yeezy Gap products from our stores, and we have shut down yeezygap.com. The company wrote, anti-Semitism, racism, and hate is in any form are inexcusable and not tolerated per our values. On behalf of our customers, employees, and shareholders, we are partnering with organizations that combat hate and discrimination. But y'all haven't came with an example of what he did. Please, if y'all could, within the next couple days, please tell us what Kanye said that was anti-Semitic. Is this the Okay, cool. I wasn't sure where I was at with the videos. So, why is it that they have yet to show us any sort of examples of what was hurtful, what was anti-Semitic, and why the Jewish community is so hell-bent on trying to get this man severed from all of his partnerships? Where's the example? We're not just gonna, well, I know I'm not gonna take what they're saying just off of face value, because we need examples. Show us examples. They don't have examples because it doesn't fit the narrative they give the black community or any community any sort of example of what anyone means when it comes to when someone's being anti-Semitic or spreading hate speech or whatever. They don't have any examples. They're just going to put these trigger words, these keywords out there to you guys, and then the rest is history. Like, it's no more. They speak nothing of it after that. Don't allow the wool to be pulled over your eyes, because it might very well hurt you in the long run. Now, even those who are used to problematic clients are dropping West. We had engaged Camille Vasquez, the lawyer who helped Johnny Depp win his defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard, to help him get his business back on track. But she let him go after less than a week because he refused to retract his anti-Semitic comments. The only partner that seems interested in the failing right-wing platform, Parler. If you'd like, you can revisit our timeline on his anti-Semitic comments. Well, don't do it with TMZ. Do it with me. Just look at last week's video and you'll see exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Now, with this next video I'm about to show, some things happen over the course of like a week and a half or so, or if not a week. Kanye got the white power or KKK or Aryan Brotherhood, wherever you want to call them. He got them up in arms with him. This is the first time ever that this white hate group has ever agreed with anything that a black person has ever said. Or am I wrong? Did they also agree with what Farrakhan said? I'm not too sure. But this is what the news has to say.
Hate speech spotted over one of LA's busiest freeways.
Anti-Semitic banners were on display this weekend over the 405, referencing an anti-Jewish tweet by rapper Kanye West. Our CBS 2's Jake Reiner live in Beverly Hills tonight. Jake, with some reaction from members of the Jewish faith.
Leslie and Ross, this is anti-Semitic speech, and what is concerning to a lot of the people in the Jewish community is that it's just speech right now, but it could lead to something more egregious and violent.
Often when the world is in turmoil, oftentimes historically, anti-Semitism rises.
Hatred hanging above the 405, anti-Semitic rhetoric resonating with the wrong people, say the Anti-Defamation League.
This is what it says. It says, "Honk if you know, Kanye is right about the Jews," and then it also says, I can't read what that third one says. But anyway, that's what they draped over the 405. One of the bridges over the 405 in Los Angeles. Let's keep going.
Los Angeles and the Jewish Federation of Greater LA.
There was a part of me which felt, here we go again. This particular group has been active in the past.
That prominent anti-Semitic group, which neither the regional director of the ADL nor the COO of the Jewish Federation wished to call by name, has done stunts like this before. But on Saturday, it was a little different. The signs read, "Honk if you know," and Kanye is right about the Jews.
The fact that a group like this is leveraging Kanye West really makes it all the more frightening.
If you've been following Kanye West or Ye recently, he's been on a tour of anti-Semitic speech, saying things like he's going...
What was his tour about? What was anti-Semitic about his speech? Just give examples. That's all you have to do. Like, you don't have to just say, yeah, he said this, he said anti-Semitic things. Give examples of what he said. Because if you give the examples of what he said, right, you can make him look stupid. Y'all do know that, right? Y'all can make someone look stupid over the things that they say. Now, this is one thing that will happen. You'll have someone like me, not saying I will, but it will be someone like me, if not more educated and more intellectually prone of speaking of things of such merit of who the real Jews are. I'm not going to say who the real Jews are because Kanye already said who the real Jews are. That's why I said last week when my friend Jamal asked, and I presented it on my channel, are the Jews a religion or are they a race? I said that they are a race. I'm sorry, they are a religion. I'm sorry, I said they are a religion. They are not a race. You can't, in no form or fashion, the people who present themselves as the Jews, they're not. Khazarian, which is a part of the around Turkey and the Slavic nations, as well as the Ashkenazis, which dwell from the Germanic tribes all the way to the Slavic nations as well. So what do we have here? We have people who lie about who they are, and when people actually say who they are, they get upset and say that we're sprouting anti-Semitic rhetoric. How so? Now, there is a group of Jewish people that I'm not saying, only because I don't know their names, well, the name of said tribe. But when I do, just know I will present it here. But the Khazarians and the Ashkenazis right now can be sufficient enough right now. If you take the last four letters of Ashkenazi, you get what? Anyway, that's y'all's homework for the night. Let's see. Was I finished this? Okay, I'm not finished this video, so let's finish the video.
DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, and that people are being controlled by Jews. This concerns those closely connected to the Jewish community because of what this could potentially lead to. violence.
What worries me is what are the consequences of this speech, both at a national level and on a local level. Who's listening? Who's sitting there watching this online and getting inspired to potentially take this to the next step?
Now, check this out. It's weird he just said that. What is always the next step of which they always talk about? Which is violence. No one's thinking about harming Jewish people. Y'all don't have to tuck y'all Star of David. Y'all don't have to not dress in your traditional garb that you guys wear. The Hasidic Jews don't have to tuck their curls in. You don't have to pull your yarmulke off. Y'all don't have to do none of that because nobody wants to harm you. We just want you guys to understand we know the truth, and that's it. Since we know what the truth is, you have nothing to worry about. You can go off and still be the Jewish people that you want to be, the Khazarian Ashkenazis. You can be a Hasidic Jew if you want. You can develop your own schools, run your own schools, and all that, like you already are in certain places in America, like New York. That's where that's where they live in the Crown Heights district of Brooklyn. But just know, nobody wants to harm y'all. But you guys are harming us or I will say you are harming Ye by allowing his various partnerships go astray from him. Because you guys are threatening these people, stating, this is what you guys are saying. If you don't cut ties with this man, what? You won't give him any funding? Like, what the fuck's happening here? Like what's going on? What are you telling these people? And I will say, who the fuck is Adidas standing in solidarity with? Because Jews are very shrewd. They don't drive Mercedes-Benzes, Volkswagens. They don't drive these fucking cars, nor do they probably wear Adidas, which was started by two Nazis. Who the fuck is Adidas standing in solidarity with? Jewish people are very fucking shrewd people. If they feel as though that you or your lineage had something to do or contributed to the 6 million that died during World War II, then they probably won't fuck with you as a company. They probably won't buy from you. So who the fuck is Adidas standing in solidarity with? Like, what the fuck is happening here? Let's consider what I just said as the truth. As the truth. Because he probably doesn't drive a Mercedes-Benz. He probably doesn't drive a Volkswagen. He probably, or like, come on now. Anyway.
Everyone, every fan, every business partner reconsiders what that means to be in relationship with Kanye. And one of the first we'd start with, frankly, is Adidas.
Also happening overnight here in Beverly Hills, the police department reporting that there were a number of anti-Semitic flyers being dispersed in the city's north end. They have been collected and no reports of any danger. In Beverly Hills, I'm Jake Reiner, CBS 2 News.
Because there won't be any.
Kanye now...
I'm sorry, that's my last video. There won't be any violence towards these people. I need them to know this. By y'all always stating we don't want this to go to the next step. What's the next step? Because it's you guys who fear certain things. Nothing will happen to you. We promise you. I promise you. Unless, and this is a big this is a big if too. Unless you provoke it first. So don't say we don't want this to go to the next step if you're the ones who keeps talking about this. No one else is talking about this as much as you. We don't want this to go to the next step. What's the next step? Is it violence? Is it something else that happened to your people several decades ago? Just know, none of that shit's legal, nor will it happen again. But I know one thing that is still prevalent in this country. Slavery. If you get locked up in prison, jail, whatever, it's fucking like it's slavery. The fucking U.S. government in every state, the U.S. government as far as like federal prisons and in state prisons, y'all are collecting niggas like they fucking Pokemon cards. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Hope you guys knew that Mississippi didn't get rid of their chain gang, which is, you know, them going out to fields and you know, with pickaxes and shit like that and planting crops and all this other shit. That shit is slavery. They didn't get rid of that shit until 2011. Like, you guys are always talking about never forget, and we don't want to go back to blah, 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 blah. And it's like, nigga, do you see what black people's going through? Do you see what black people's going through? Like, what the fuck, yo? We don't want this to go to the next step. Nothing will fucking happen to you, we promise. And I tell you this with the most sincerest thought that I have. Like, when it comes to y'all always trying to escalate the situation, nothing's gonna fucking happen to y'all. Like, it's ridiculous that you guys think this shit every time a black person comes out and says, well, we're the real Jews. It's always anti-Semitic, it's hurtful. It's hate speech that they're saying that we can get hurt by that. How? By words? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. Like, that's what the saying's for. Like, fucking be about who you are and shut the fuck up. We don't need people to be deplatformed or be debanked or be fucking threatened with their money being taken away from them and shit like that. We don't need this shit every time this shit comes up. Because then, and only then, we will then start to think, oh, so what you think about who we are or what we think about y'all is actually true. You guys are truly, and fuck it, I won't say it. Fuck it, I won't say it. But Farrakhan always says, get these motherfuckers from the synagogue of Satan the fuck out of this country. I said it in a way where I didn't say it, so there we go. Anyway, let's keep going. So, Kanye West was escorted out of Skechers' office after showing up unannounced. Here we go.
Kanye, now known as Ye, has been trying to kickstart his clothing line, including his shoe line, Yeezy. He arrived at Skechers in Manhattan Beach, their headquarters, with a film crew. In recent days, he's stirred up a lot of trouble with his anti-Semitic remarks. Among other things, Skechers is owned and operated by a Jewish family. Skechers issued this statement after tossing him out of their headquarters.
This is what they said. Ye arrived unannounced and without invitation at one of our Skechers corporate offices in Los Angeles. Considering Ye was engaged in unauthorized filming, two Skechers executives escorted him out, his party, from the building after a brief conversation. Skechers is not considering and has no intention of working with West We condemn his recent divisive remarks and do not tolerate anti-Semitism or any other form of hate speech. We will have a live report from Skechers headquarters coming up on our special report at 6 p.m. And more companies are telling the Yeezy brand, quote, you should go. Kanye is now getting dropped by discount retailer TJ Maxx. Buyers for TJ Maxx around the world are being told not to purchase Ye-related merchandise. The Massachusetts-based company has a statement out saying discrimination, harassment, or hate of any kind is not tolerated. Adidas, Gap, Balenciaga, they've all also ended their relationships with Ye's Yeezy brand. Talent agency CAA has also dropped him, and a documentary is being put on the shelf. Even Peloton is dropping Ye's music from its classes.
New at 5.
All that for some bullshit ass statements. They need to grow the fuck up. Like, seriously. Grow the fuck up. If you know who you are, then what does it matter what someone says about who they are? Like, how does that fucking hurt you? That's what I want to. That's my main question to all of the Jews, the ones in power, the ones not in power, even the acidic Jews who don't even listen to a goddamn word I'm saying right now. I want somebody to ask them, what is it about people stating who they exactly are, who they know that they are as truth, but you guys then come out and you're like, well, you know, that's hurtful as fuck, and you shouldn't be saying that, and blah, 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 blah. And just stop. If you know who you are, leave it be. Let it go. Leave it alone. All right? Now, executives at Skechers escorted Kanye West out of the company's corporate offices in Los Angeles after the rapper and fashion designer showed up unannounced and without invitation on Wednesday. In the statement of what the lady just put out, which I'm not going to reiterate, they said what they said. Comments come a day after Adidas ends its long-time collaboration with Ye following a spat of anti-Semitic comments made by Ye in recent weeks. We condemn his recent divisive remarks and do not tolerate anti-Semitism and all that other bullshit that they had to say about him. Ye has been spreading anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. This is the one thing that they said about Nick Cannon as well, that he was spreading anti-Semitic conspiracy theories by him stating when he did Cannon's class with Professor Griff, from former member of Public Enemy, the rap group Public Enemy, right? They said that Nick Cannon spread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. How's it a fucking conspiracy theory? We are the real Jews. We're the Hebrews. What the fuck is wrong with these people? This is who we are. If you don't feel as though that you want to accept that that's who we are, that's fine. Just let it be. Just know the cat's out of the bag, and we know. Just know that. Just know that the cat's out of the bag. We know that it's true. So why are you fighting this? You can be within your existence just like we can be within our existence. It's that simple. All right. We don't if you look at it from this angle, we don't even call ourselves Jews. In this country, we consider ourselves black. Or if you go to any other country where black people are at, they either calling themselves Igbos or Congolese, whatever the hell the tribe that they come from, that's what they're calling themselves. They're not saying, "Oh, we're Hebrews, we're Jews." Those people aren't saying that. You can go to the streets of any city and go and where the Hebrew Israelites are, and they'll be sitting there reading the Bible all aggressively, and they'll say, "Yeah, we are the real Hebrews." Like, they'll say that, but not the rest of the black community saying that shit. Most of us know that in history we were, but we're not saying, oh, well, since I know this, I'm saying I'm. No, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. So stop. All right? Now, where was I at? So, conspiracy theories in interviews and on social media. So he has been spreading anti-Semitic conspiracy theories in interviews and on social media. So, and earlier this month, he generated outrage by presenting T-shirts at Paris Fashion Week. That featured the slogan "White Lives Matter," a phrase associated with white supremacists. He has become increasingly isolated as multiple brands distance themselves from him. Gap, which terminated its tie up with Ye in September, he now taking immediate steps to remove Yeezy Gap products from its shelves and shut down YeezyGap.com. This is what I wanted to do with the Gap that's near me. It's at this mall called the Christian Mall. I wanted to go there, but I didn't have time to do it once this news broke out. I wanted to go there and be like, hey, where's all the Yeezy stuff at? If they would have said, oh, well, we took it down, it's in the back, I would have said, well, since y'all ain't selling that shit, just give it to me. They would have had no other choice because Gap doesn't want any ties with them. I'm pretty sure that they don't want to make any money from the Yeezy brand anymore. So just give me what y'all got in the back. Just give me everything that y'all got in the back of Yeezy brand. That's what I wanted to do, for real. But I didn't have the time to do it. Now, if I go, well, the mall's closed now, but if I go, are they open tomorrow? Yeah, if I go tomorrow and go to the Gap and be like, yo, I'm pretty sure they won't have that shit there. They probably already shipped it so wherever the hell that they shipped it from. But I'm saying, if that's the case, if Adidas don't want to sell Yeezys, and if Gap don't want to sell Yeezy brand, then motherfucker, let me get them shoes. Let me get all of the shoes that y'all got in the back. Let me get all them clothes y'all got in the back and give them to me. I'll find a use for them. Now, would I sell them? Nope. I'll either give them to less fortunate kids or less fortunate families. Just give it to them. Nope, free of charge. Here's everything. What y'all need? Y'all need some shirts, some pants, some shoes. Here you go, right here. You need some sweatshirts. Here you go. I would most definitely give that to the less fortunate. Now, if they got some Yeezys my size, then hell, I might have to take it. I never wore Yeezys before, but hey, I would that then. Balenciaga also severed ties with him, and the end of his lucrative Adidas deal means Ye is reportedly no longer a billionaire, which is a fucking lie. His longtime talent agency CAA is said to no longer be representing him. Potentially, leaders in California also joined the chorus of those condemning Ye's behavior this week. After recent anti-Semitic incidents in Los Angeles, some of which specifically reference Ye's comments about Jews, put residents on edge. How? Like, these are the questions that I need to ask. How? You're not coming up with any sort of answers for us. So the only thing we can do is keep asking questions until you do. It's that simple. It's that simple. Now, I have no more. That's all I have. That's all I have for you guys. Other than there's two. So the story came out Friday, I believe, Thursday, Friday, that Ye shut down Donda Academy in Los Angeles, right? I found a story that said that, but then I found a conflicting story that said, after I read the Donda closing, I also read on another story that said that immediately after he shut it down, he reopened it. Now, it was two conflicting stories. I couldn't bring this to you guys saying, yeah, he shut his school down. Like I couldn't do that because there's a conflicting story out there that states that he immediately put it back in use. Like I can't report that. So I don't know what's happening with the school. I don't know if it's open or closed. But if he closed it, it will be for good reason because he doesn't want innocent kids caught in the crossfire of what he's out here saying, speaking truth to people. Like I don't understand why they would say that he shut the schools down if another story states that he immediately opened it right back up. So I don't know. But I do understand if he did that he did it for the students because they're innocent children. They if he has a heart, so he doesn't want those kids involved in anything that he's doing. I can understand if he did shut the school down, but then there's the conflicting story that states otherwise. So who knows what happened? So yeah, man, that's all I got. That's all I got for the night. So not a 3 hour and 40 minute stream like last week, but I came close. I'm 20 minutes away from that. So with that being said, I guess I'll just get on out of here. So with that being said, let me play my theme music and we can get on out of here. So people, I thank you guys for having the attention spans of grown adults. So with that being said, we go over these promotions and then we will get on out of here. Now, every Friday, I do a game stream. I've been streaming Halo Infinite multiplayer for I don't know how long, probably the last seven weeks maybe, I believe. Come November 11th, that will change. I will be playing God of War Ragnarok. So I will be playing that November the 11th, Friday, November the 11th. Also, with that being said, I'm also considering not playing Halo next week. Probably will be playing either Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate maybe online with some people. I did that once. Seemed to interest some people. But I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out between now and next Friday. With that being said, you can catch those streams Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Not only here on Marcus Speaks, but on my secondary channel, Marcus Speaks Play. All right. Go and subscribe to those because all of those videos are there waiting for you. Also on Saturdays here on the flagship channel, Marcus Speaks, I do this here podcast called Marcus Speaks Live. You can catch that at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But follow me on my social medias. If you don't know what my social medias are, you can go to the description box and hit the individual social media links, or go into the All My Links link. That is the very first link that you'll see after the video description. Go into that, and then you'll find everywhere where I'm at. All right. Also, pay attention to the scrolling ticker. It's also there as well. Go and subscribe. Like I said earlier, I have two channels, my flagship channel, Marcus Speaks, and my secondary channel, which is kind of also going to be acting as my backup channel, just in case some shit happens. it will be, you can only see Marcus Speaks here on Marcus Speaks. Marcus Speaks Live here on Marcus Speaks. But if anything happens from now until next Saturday, I probably will. If everything else goes well, I'll be streaming from here. But if I get suspended, I will be streaming over on Marcus Speaks Live. If you ever want to come up here and talk to me, you can. Just hit the link that's pinned in the live chat. All right, but there are rules once you get there. Those rules are this. Rule number 1: you must be on camera at all times. Here on the backstage, and if you want to be on camera in the public. But if you don't want to, rule number 2 states this: don't be on camera. That is fine. But you still have to be on camera here on the backstage. All right. To the public, if you don't want to, that's fine. I won't force you to do it, but I will force you to be on camera back here on the backstage. And then, rule number 3: you must silence all background noise. You go to a secluded spot in your house where there is no noise, or go outside where there's no noise, or turn everything off in your house when you speak to them. Right? Those are your only options. Also, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to it. Right? I can't stress that enough. I would like to get to 100 subscribers by Monday. Alright? Monday is the last day of this month. 100 subscribers is my goal. I'm only 11 away from it. So if you could do me one favor, the next 11 people, please subscribe. And what you get me next week with the game stream and the podcast. That's your only prize. By the end of the year, I like to be at 150. So, to the next 61 people who subscribe from here until the end of the year, I thank you now. All right. Now, with that being said, I have nothing much else to say other than this. Please, if you could, focus on getting the money, because it's only, I don't know, it makes the world go round. So focus on getting your money, make more money if you can, create a business or whatever. Just get to the money. Also, please drink more water for health purposes. I can't stress that enough. Cut out all the sugar and all the other stuff, and you'll be able to get as healthy as you hoped for by drinking more water. Also, please mind your own business for sanity purposes, because you don't want to go insane knowing some information that you wasn't supposed to know, for the simple fact that it's not helpful. And plus, mind your own business when it comes to other people. Like, you don't have to know their business all the time, all right? And then, with that being said, I give you, please, for your own sake, do your own research, all right? This has been Marcus Speaks. I've been your host, Marcus. I thank y'all for watching. And I'll check you guys out next Friday. Peace out.